podcasting in the Gowanus section of Brooklyn, New York. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Hey everyone, for me, as usual, it is good morning, especially on this cloudy day. It's still a beautiful day, but whenever you guys choose to listen to my podcast and productions, morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, late at night, I always appreciate the support, the looks, the likes, the listens, and I, of course, would appreciate you hitting that subscribe and notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone, but do it if you want to. There's no pressure. I have lost some loved people close to me in my lifetime, as many people, especially since this past year. The whole concept of death has been emanating from everywhere you go, on the news, politicians' mouths, your neighbors' mouths, from everywhere. But before then, it's always been a hard thing to deal with, that sudden void of someone not being there any longer. You're not going to hear their voice anymore, not going to share any moments with them, but the best you can do is go forward and hopefully you can see them again in the afterlife. But speaking about the afterlife, heaven or hell, your loved ones who many people say are smiling down on them right now, they're watching over them, they're their guardian angel now. I hate to break it to you, but chances are they are not in heaven. Your loved ones are not in heaven. I speak on this from a clear understanding of what Elohim, our creator, God of the Bible, God of Israel, and what the book says about death. It's a sleep. Right now, basically, just about all of us, or your loved ones, are sleeping. They are more than likely not smiling down on you from heaven. They are more than likely not watching over you like a guardian angel. They are all sleeping. Everyone is going to get to heaven once the second coming happens of Yeshua, the Messiah, comes back. And all those who are sleeping will be raised up, and that's the point of judgment. All right. These are things that people need to learn. And so I understand that so many people have a huge misconception of heaven, of who God is, of things that are actually biblically accurate and things that are just made up from tradition and pop culture. Okay? I'm not saying this to hurt anyone or to make jabs at anyone, because it is what it is. Now, as if you want to study the book, there are about at least 4 people who are translated who are in heaven. It's Moses, Elijah, Elisha, and Enoch. And if you want to learn basically how they're in heaven, you have to understand the character of our creator. You have to understand who these people were, who these men were, how do they get to heaven? And just about the rest of us are now, when we pass on, we're sleeping. Well, you have to look at their character, look at their walk with the creator. They get what the Father wants from us. They get exactly who we're supposed to be. Do I know if anyone else is up there? I don't know. The book may not be clear with anyone after the fact, but from what I understand, there's only specific people, and majority of us are going to have to wait until it's time to wake back up again. All right. Another thing that people think is biblically true is that, Moses had a brother, Ramses, he grew up with. It's not actually in the book at all. The reason I'm saying this is not to give a sermon. I'm saying this to give 2 major examples of popular belief that is not biblical. So if we can get this wrong of how people live their life after death, they either go to heaven or they go to hell immediately. That's not true. We look also, again, fantastic grand movie, The 10 Commandments, Charlton Heston, whatever his name is, Heston. And of course, as much impact and influence that movie had, many people believe, he had a brother named Ramses. That's not in the book as well. So we have to now gauge, what do we actually know of the book? What do we actually know of our creator? If we've been always directed by pop culture, by movie, by media, by politicians, and come to find out so much things are not true. And this is not just from the book, from the Bible. This is from any historical thing that we could look at. Anything we look at, people are becoming, supposedly woke now. We realize there's so much things that we were taught is not the truth, was not the truth. So here now, when it comes even to a more important question now, how well do we know our Creator if what we believe is not true? If what we believe was basically promoted through tradition, even churches teach these things that are not biblically accurate. And unfortunately, that gives our Creator a bad rap because so many people feel, well, I can't trust man. I can't trust man in his actions. And I don't know what's true or not. That I'm not going to follow any religion. That's good. Don't follow any religion. Follow Elohim. Build a relationship with him. Study that book so you can start discerning things. And I guarantee you, the more you do it, it's not going to be overnight. It's going to be time well spent. And it's going to be a long period of time where you're going to have questions. It's okay. Question everything. I guarantee you will find a good amount of answers. It's going to make a lot of sense. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to answer every single question that you may have in life, but at the same time, it will answer questions that you probably didn't even know existed, and it will connect all the dots. You will understand what the spirit of man is, what the spirit of Elohim is. You will know where we come from, but educate yourself. Basically, just educate yourself on a spiritual thing. Don't just leave it up to politicians. Don't leave it up to your pastor. Don't leave it up to your grandma. Don't leave it up to anybody else. Understand and know where you come from and educate yourself as to what the lies that have been told to us, and we can now separate that from the truth. That's all I got. If you want to hear any more of my content, you can check out my website at www.brooklynbaritone.com. I'm also on YouTube under Brooklyn Baritone. You can check me out on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. I am also on Instagram and Facebook. You can hear the audio podcasts, these audio podcasts, on Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes Podcasts, and also Amazon Music under Podcasts. And I broadcast 4 times a week on Brooklyn Cable Access Television. That's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 times a week, 12 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Verizon, RCN, Spectrum, and Optimum. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you hanging out. If you did choose to hear this whole thing, I want you guys to be blessed. I want you guys to be educated. I want you guys to walk good. I am out. You'll hear from me next week.